Alright, starting with some good old lateral raises on an arm and shoulder day. Let's see what rocks. Alright. Good first set with a 35. So I used to do 45s at this, but this should just be getting too heavy these days, you know what I'm saying? 35 is a nice solid weight where I can still feel the burn in. I don't feel like I'm swinging too much to get the weight up there, so I'm good with sticking at 35s. I usually start my arm and shoulder days off with what I feel like I'm lacking in right now. I think it might be the side delts. 2 weeks out from the show. Not going to make a whole bunch of progress, but that doesn't mean I'm going to abandon the way I train, right? So, I got complimented on my rear delts yesterday, so I'm feeling pretty good about those. So, rock with the side delt today. Probably go into a curl, hammer, or just regular bicep dumbbell curl, but then hit a tricep and do some good old cardio. We'll see what happens. Alright, set number 2. Maybe the final set on this. I don't know. We'll see. I still got the pre-workout hitting, so I don't know if I want to move on to something else to make sure that I can get a decent few sets in before I run out of energy, you know? I'm gonna get a couple swing to get it up with the control on the way down. Here we go. Alright. Okay. This is a really solid second set. Might just go right into bicep curls off of that. 2 sets for everything. Close to or 2 failure today, I think. That was a little bit past failure because I cheated to get a couple of those reps up at the end there, but controlled it on the way down. That's really the focal point. It's just controlling on the eccentric. You know, I'm not saying don't control on the concentric and swing it all the time, but definitely controlling the eccentric, definitely. Moving on to bicep curls. We're just going to rock it with some 45s. I think a week ago I did 50s or 55s or something like that, but well, we're at 45s this week. Let's see how it rocks. Come on. Okay. All right. I think on the very next set, this one I was really close to failure. I don't even know if I could have gotten another rep in there. But I think on the next set, what I'm going to do is, at the end when I feel like I'm pretty much there at failure, I'm going to go ahead and do what I did with the side lateral raises and kind of swinging on the way up, but try and control it on the way down. Bicep curl set number 2. Get some swing action again. I'm not a swinger, don't worry about it. Pause. All right. Swinging on the way up, control on the way down. All right. That was good. Next set we'll rock with we'll just do something like one more set of hammer curls, just one more set of curls in general. It's gonna be hammer curls, and then move on to our tricep exercise for the workout. So, little post-gym card talk. I didn't film everything that I did. So after I hit those bicep curls, I hit a set of hammer strength. I hit a set of hammer curls. And then I went and did a tricep dip machine. Something real easy, lax-like. And then I did some more lateral raises. I got on the lateral raise machine, one of them ones that has the pads on the elbows and you just raise your elbows. I kind of like that machine a little bit. I kind of like it. Dumbbells for some reason is my favorite way to hit those lateral raises. I don't know why, but that's just where I feel it most. It's where it feels the best, you know? And then I was able to muster up about 10 minutes on the Stairmaster. I didn't hit my 30. I didn't have cardio scheduled for today, but, you know, a couple weeks out, I want to get at least a little bit of cardio in, even when it's not scheduled out. My legs are jelly right now. They got no juice. At the end of every session, I don't even hit legs, but my legs are the one thing that run out of juice first. Like when my energy levels start to dip, what goes first is my legs. It's so hard for me to walk around when my energy level is just down there. But I had to stop at the gas station, get some things. I ran out of gum, and for me, gum is like a lifesaver. Because it gives me, you know, just a hint of sweetness throughout the day, you know. I chew gum like a madman, to be quite honest with you. But I also got some things for after the bulk / on the way up, on the carb up. So I got some things at the gas station. I got these chocolate frosted donut Kit Kats. I had these in my mid-prep carb up, and they were delicious. These things are like, I love Kit Kats, by far one of my best candies, one of my most favorite candies, but those chocolate frosted ones were delicious. And then I couldn't resist getting these birthday cake ones as well, because come on, it's birthday cake, right? And then I got a couple of Twix bars as well. I got a cookies and cream Twix bar, and then I also got a cookie dough Twix bar. So I'm not having those until after the show, but the one thing about shopping is I'm great at not going off diet and eating things that I shouldn't. You know, I'm good at staying on the diet like that. But when I go shopping and I see stuff like that, and I know how close I am to the end of this cut, you know, I'm gonna get some sweet treats, you know, type thing. I could resist buying them, but like I know I'm gonna want them on the bulk, and I'm not gonna resist buying them then because I can eat them. Now, am I saying that I'm going to eat all of this immediately right after the show? No. I hope I don't plan on doing that. You know, I hope I don't do that where I just eat everything in sight after the show. If it happens, it happens, you know, but I'm hoping I can at least spread it out a little bit so I don't immediately gain 30 pounds. However, the likelihood of me gaining a lot of weight after the show is high. I'm most likely not going to compete for the rest of the year. My show's on August 10th, so I'm probably not going to compete until next year, 2025. So, you know, I might end up gaining a little bit of weight on the bulk, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to try and spread the sweet treats out throughout the bulk so I don't eat them all in the first week, you know, because that's going to make me look like shit and probably not feel great mentally and physically. But if it happens, you know, I'm going to try and steal the mind and just know that I'm not going to look fantastic with the way I'm eating. Thank you, Dashcam, for letting me know that you just turned on. But let's get out of here. Other than the candy haul and the gum, let's talk about the training session a little bit more in depth. I only did 2 sets on pretty much everything. I only did 2 working sets on everything that I did. Number one, lack of energy is something to cite. You know, we are decently deep
Decently. We got 2 weeks left. So, you know, energy levels are, as soon as that burst of pre-workout that I take is gone, there ain't much holding together but spit and glue, you know what I'm saying? So right now I get tired pretty quickly in the gym, but it's no excuse to not hit at least a little bit of a workout. You know, getting in the gym and at least hitting something, whether it be for 20 minutes or a 2-hour session, is something, you know? So, but something that I was saying a lot today is a couple of things that I did. I did it on the lateral raises, and I did it on the curls as well. You know, I said, I'm gonna swing a couple of the reps at the end, but control it on the way down, right? It's the same thought process of controlling that eccentric movement, you know? So use a little bit of momentum on the concentric, get the weight up there, but then control it more on the way down, you know? It's kind of like pushing a little bit past mechanical failure, you know? That point where your form starts to deteriorate, and you're gonna accept that your form is gonna start to deteriorate, but you're still conscious about how you're gonna control it on the most important part of the rep, you know? And I'm not saying every rep needs to have you swinging everything, you know, and then as long as you're controlling on the way down, that's not what I'm saying. You wanna have, you know, decent form throughout the lift, but once you get to the end, if you wanna push yourself a little bit further, using a little bit of momentum, a little bit of swing to get the weight up and then control it on the way down, I think you're in a good spot, you know, and that's what I was doing today. The one thing that I really don't want to do that on is something like a tricep push down machine like I did. I know you guys didn't see it, but it's just a seated tricep push down machine. Because I don't want to bring my chest too much into that, and that's kind of the momentum that you would be using, is like you'd be really crunching down, using your chest for it on the way down, and then pulling it on the way up with your triceps. And that's fine, like you could do that, but I hit chest and back yesterday, so I don't want to restrain the chest too much on those movements, you know? So I kind of avoid that, especially on the chest, which is something that in the past I have been susceptible to work multiple days in a row when I do like chest on one day and tricep on another day, you know? And it can cause a little bit of soreness in my tendons, so I try to avoid that a little bit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to promote, you know, not controlling your reps like that and using a lot of momentum. And that, like, I'm not even saying like you're not getting any training in if you're using momentum on most of your movement. Like, you know, as long as you're pushing yourself, you're probably going to get some growth, especially if you're newer to the gym. But you can kind of put yourself in a bad position where you might end up hurting yourself a little bit if you use momentum on everything and never develop good form. Controlled form, I would say, you know? You kind of get this ego lift-esque type vibe about you. And it can put yourself in a bad spot, in a bad way, you know, if you continue to lift like that. So obviously I promote controlled reps 90% of the time, 95, 99% of the time. Most of the time, right? Most of the time. But at the end of something like a bicep curl or like a lateral raise, you know, a little bit of momentum to get you up there, and then controlling it on the eccentric portion of the movement for a couple of reps that just you push yourself just a little bit harder. That's all it is. That's all it is. You're not compromising too much. If you're like literally just throwing the weight up there with all your momentum and then just letting it drop, you're not really gaining anything from that. At least on a bicep curl, you're not going to gain a whole lot in the bicep area. That's not going to do much for the bicep muscles if you're doing that. But if you're controlling it on the way down, that's just the way I think about it. It's just a little bit past failure, you know? And maybe you're just not hitting, it's like assisted reps kind of. In assisted reps, they have, I think in the scientific portion of the community, you know, they might be a little convoluted, a little cloudy on their, I'll try and hold you guys more still, on their help when it comes to muscle growth and hypertrophy. You know, they could be good, they could maybe not contribute. Obviously, I don't want it to cause a reduction in gains, but I don't think they're doing that. I don't think assisted reps are causing a reduction in gains, especially if you just utilize them every now and then, especially if you're not using them every single training session. But even then, I can't say for sure that that would damage your muscle growth and hypertrophy, you know? So it all depends on how you lift, and I'm not saying the way that I lift is perfect, you know? I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. I think that I've trained for quite some time, and I've done multiple different training styles, from this athletic thing in high school, you know, where most of my training was based around athletics, not necessarily specifically muscle growth or strength, although I did obviously gain both those things because that happens no matter what. And then I went into more of a powerlifting thing for most of my years in college. And then when it came to about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I switched mainly to hypertrophy training, and I've seen actual decent growth in my muscle size. So what I have done works for me. Is there things that maybe work better? Possibly, you know? And that's something you really got to dive into sometimes. If you're really super serious about muscle growth, finding the best way to train is obviously your best path, but you also gotta have fun with the way you train, you know? If you wanna just hit a lift, maybe it's not optimal, you know, who cares? You know, you just wanna hit it that one day, you know? You're just like, nah, I miss it, you know? I miss hitting it, let me hit it, you know? As long as you're staying safe, you're not gonna injure yourself, do it, man. You gotta have fun with especially your time in the gym, you know? If you treat it like a job, you might start to resent it a little bit, and you're your own boss in the gym, you know? So every now and then, if you let yourself have a little bit of fun, you're not gonna set yourself back too far, you know what I'm saying? So you're in a good spot no matter how you do it, as long as you go about it a safe and smart way. So a little bit of fun every now and then, where you maybe hit a lift that isn't optimal for muscle growth. Hey man, you're doing yourself a favor at that point, letting yourself have fun, you know? And I'm not saying don't be serious about the gym. Definitely be serious about the gym if you're serious about competing in some aspect of powerlifting or bodybuilding or something of the sort, you know? But also let yourself have fun sometimes, you know? Everybody's working their hardest, but at the end of the day, we're doing this because we love it, right? So let yourself love it. Let yourself love it. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.